Same thing.
According to BG 6.5, Udharet Atmanatmanam Namatmanam Avashtayat Asmevya Yatmano Bandhur Asmeva Riparatmana. Does anybody want to read the translation?
Elevate yourself through the power of your mind and not degrade yourself, for the mind can be the friend and also the enemy of the self.
What does this mean? We'll share openly since nobody wants to discuss with their peers.
Can we discuss it with you?
Yes.
That's the point of announcing. Announce people.
So what does it mean? Like what do you
Wait.
think it means?
Caitlin. If nobody, fine.
I think what it's trying to say is that, when you talk to yourself, use positive self-talk and not negative self-talk. Even when something bad is happening, you try to change your perspective, because somebody going through the same situation could have two different perspectives on it. One person could feel grateful that I got saved from this. The other person could be like, why did this happen to me? So you can either your mind could be your friend or your worst enemy.
Yes.
So
That's a very
positive
good,
self-talk.
yeah, that's a very good thing. Anybody else?
Generally, like Swami Vivekananda quotation, you have it right. Like what you think of yourself, you become that. So if you think yourself weak, you become weak man. So if you think yourself strong, you strong man. So mind has a very important role in shaping you. So
Yes.
it's best to have a positive talk and just think it as your friend instead of someone as the opposing force. Because if mind becomes an opposing force, you can't really do your day-to-day activities also.
Very good. Amazing,
How do you
amazing.
control
thing.
that? I will continue what chain of thought. How do you control your mind not becoming your enemy?
So
Discipline.
maybe whenever something negative pops up, just think of any positive thought in the same way, like just to oppose the negative thought. So then you can balance it.
One thing that I found helpful is talk to yourself as if you talk to a friend, or maybe a younger sibling. Usually, because we treat them with more kindness sometimes than we treat ourselves.
Yeah.
So you're very introspective, and that is a quality. So mind is a very thinking and feeling thing, right? But not every thought that comes in your mind, you have to act on it, right? The thoughts that come in your mind, you need to introspect. And how do you do that? Through your intelligence. So you have to develop an intelligence. And intelligence is also of two kinds. You have materialistic intelligence and you have spiritual intelligence. So mind has 1,000 thoughts, but you don't act out on all of it. It's through your intelligence. You filter in, and your intelligence tells you, hey, this is my goal. My mind is telling me, my senses is going here. Does that decision that I'm taking, does it align with my goal or not? If it doesn't align, then you discard that thought and the next thought comes in. So that is what you can use. You can use your mind to elevate yourself, and then you can also use it to degrade yourself. But what is in the finer print is using your intelligence to control your mind. Okay, can you go to the next step?
First step. Who are you? This is the first step in the process of accepting yourself as the soul. Identify yourself. Who are you? Go back. Piche jana. Identify yourself. Most people identify themselves like strong, their gender, right? But who really are you? This is the time when you raise your hand and answer.
So
That's not fair. You saw my whole presentation. What do you describe yourself as? And don't steal his answer. He saw my whole presentation.
So I think what he's looking for is, normally when you identify yourself, you look for characteristics of the person, right? Physical characteristics
I mean, yeah.
or other characteristics. when you look at a person or a girl, right, you're looking at, oh, look at that girl, she's got long hair, pretty hair. Look at that guy, he's so tall. Look at that guy, he always answers that question. So we're looking at all these external features.
So what would you describe yourself as?
Yeah, let's
Anybody.
say, yeah.
And be honest. Don't be like happy, caring. You always have some kind of bad quality. Something.
We have to tell our bad qualities now.
Of course, you're describing yourself, correct?
So we'll describe ourselves with the best qualities that we have, right? Oh, sorry. Sorry.
Oh, you got any person for this?
This is not going up. I don't know what it's called. Okay.
Anybody. Who would describe their
Like, you're a part of God, you know, you're much more than just part of the materialistic world, you know. Like, we live in Maya, but we're all connected to God in some ways. So,
Yeah, but when you introduce yourself, how do you introduce yourself?
as the soul, but
No.
oh,
Normally, if you meet a normal person,
Hi,
oh,
my name is this,
I'm a master.
these are my hobbies.
as the body.
Exactly, right?
Yeah.
So you say, this is my name,
Yeah.
I like doing this and this, I like skydiving, I like swimming, reading comics is a passion,
Yeah.
doing AI, I love to go to movies. That's what I think he's looking for. How do you describe yourself?
Yeah.
When you introduce yourself, how do you introduce yourself? What are the adjectives that you're using to describe yourself?
As the outer shell.
Like a boy, girl, gender,
Yeah.
Student.
Indian.
Mm.
race?
I'm an Indian person.
Interests.
Yeah.
Interest.
These are all things you would use to describe yourself. So describe yourself.
Okay, they
Actually,
describe
we
Gopal.
describe
Let's
it.
go. Okay.
You are the soul. Prabhupada says, we take care of this body because the soul resides in the body. When the living entity is gone, there is no use for this body. You are the soul, not what other people think of you. People think that the perception of other people is what they are. But Krishna never says anything about expectations. The second step. One of the steps to self-acceptance is gaining self-happiness. How are you happy?
What is it that makes you happy?
It depends on an everyday basis. Like sometimes
On an everyday basis, let's say you came back at 3 o'clock after studying really hard. What do you do for fun?
Study.
maybe have a cup of coffee and then relax, read a book. That would just make my day better.
Is there only one brave heart who's brave enough to answer the question?
When we are recognized.
Okay,
by
I know.
people.
I think Gopal would be happy if people actually discussed it.
BG 18.39. Yad agre chanubandha bande cha sukham mohanam atmanah nidrulasya pramodhatam tattamasaumam udratam. Anybody want to read the translation?
And that happiness which is blind to self-realization, which is delusion from beginning to end, and which arises from sleep. Laziness and illusion is said to be of the nature of ignorance.
When we gain true happiness, we can accept ourselves. Because we have broken off our relationship with Krishna, our true lover, we're getting frustrated and we're putting our happiness in material things, thinking we're happy, but we're not. Does money buy happiness?
For some people, yes, but anyway.
We'll see if that some people is correct. depression rates. The US is one of the greatest countries in the world. A lot of people are rich, but the depression rate of the US alone is about 21 million people. So let me ask the question again. Does money buy happiness? No. People think it buys happiness. With all these material things, like it's always one thing after the next. I know you've heard of trends like the Stanley Cup.
Yeah.
You either know the Stanley Cup, want the Stanley Cup, or have a Stanley Cup. I know it's a trend going on right now. It's a material thing. It's one trend after the next. You want it, buy it, buy it, buy it. Is it going to give you happiness? No. For a short amount of time, maybe, but it's temporary. The last step. What is self-love?
Self-acceptance.
Let me give you a scenario. Let's say you're going in the woods with a friend and you find a bear. It's a very scary bear. What would you do in this scenario? The first thing you would do, and don't do that thing like, I would save my friend first. Do the thing that you would actually do if you're in this situation. Run away? Okay. What else? That's it? Run away, okay. Self-love is regaining your connection with Krishna. This is because, as we learned earlier, that we are a spirit soul and Krishna is the supreme soul. So probably you want to regain your connection with him. You can do this with self-love. Manmana bhava madbhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru mam evyashi yuktvayam atmanam mat paryayan. Does anybody want to read the shloka?
Engage your mind always in thinking of me.
The
Offer
shloka.
obeisances and worship.
It's okay, we can just
Yeah, she'll do.
engage your mind. Go ahead.
Manmana bhava madbhakto madhyajimam namaskuru mam evayasi yutvaivam atmanam mat parayanam.
Thank you. Now, does anybody want to read the translation?